8 a.m. on the East Coast, 5 a.m. on the West Coast.
Time for your morning garbage with Frank Watley and Ann Rydell.
And boy, do we have a lot of garbage to get through today.
That's right. Today we're bringing you a very special episode of Sewertown News. Rape crime. To shame a predator.
And no better place to start than with our new predator-elect, Donald Trumpet. The blowhard that was caught tooting and hollering about his pussy-grabbing exploits on a bus he had apparently mistaken for a locker room.
I mean, does that mangled, doddering old misery pipe have dementia or something, Anne?
Frank, who cares? The truly awful thing is that even with Trumpet's taped confession, no one is willing to believe the stories of the victims that have come forward.
I believe them. That story about Trumpet getting so handsy with Jessica Leaves she thought he was an octopus gave me nightmares for weeks, Anne.
Frank, I just can't believe the Sewertown electorate would reward the presidency to someone so disrespectful of women. I never thought I would see something like that.
Well, I mean, you have seen something like that, Anne.
Frank, what the fuck is that supposed to mean?
You know what it means. I'm not going to ignore the fact that former President Bill Clinton likes to paw at the ladies just because Hill's My Girl Friday, Anne.
Frank, come on. That's totally different. Conflating marital infidelity and sexual assault is actually quite problematic.
Not when the marital infidelity was sexual assault.
But it wasn't.
Just tell that to Juanita Broderick, Anne.
Frank, you can't be serious. She's so full of beans even Kenneth Starr didn't believe her. And he would have believed anything to take down Bill Clinton.
Are you kidding? Starr's never believed a rape victim in his life.
When you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are.
Well, that was another misfire in Waco.
Do you see what I mean, Anne? Frankly, Starr may be even worse than the incoming Sewertown Attorney General, Jefferson Beauregard Seasons.
Yeah, I guess the word of that gas bag ain't worth much. But I still think Trumpet's much worse than Bill.
Duh. Of course he is. I mean, Bill never snuck up on little pageant girls in their dressing rooms, Anne.
Frank, why the fuck did you make us go on this random tangent then?
I was just pointing out that the presidency has long been hostile toward women, and maybe that's why we haven't had a female president yet. It was a feminist point. God, sometimes you can be really fucking stupid, Anne.
Frank, are you seriously trying to mansplain feminism to me? No, fuck this. We'll be right back after this break.
The SNN dumpster divers. Our reporters are scouring the sewers to bring you Sewertown's dirtiest secrets. SNN, we know garbage.
Welcome back to Sewertown News. I'm Ann Rydell.
I'm Frank Watley, and this is our very special episode. Rape crime. To shame a predator. Our epic takedown of Sewertown's most notorious dirtbags.
Unfortunately, since Frank decided to waste so much time in our last block, we're still talking about our new cunt clamper-in-chief, Donald Trumpet.
Oh, don't be all butthurt just because I'm a better feminist than you, Anne.
Frank, that's not why my butt hurts today, so let's just stick to breaking the news.
We actually do have some pretty exciting news to break today, Anne.
Frank, we sure do. A new Sewertown resident has come forward to accuse the president-elect, and we've got the exclusive.
My name is Dorothy Michaels, and Donald Trump raped me in 1982 after a live tape in the Southwest General.
Oh my God, that poor sweet little toots.
I mean, I feel terrible for her, but I really don't know why she waited until after the bastard was elected to come forward.
Ugh, just like that bitch Megan Jelly who kept quiet about Trumpet trying to poison her just so she could sell a few more copies of her book, Anne.
Frank, I really wanted to boycott it, but it's just too juicy. Apparently, Trumpet bottom Roger Ailes wanted to include a fuck me clause in her new contract.
That's like the least bad thing I've ever heard about him, Anne. Frankly, his behavior toward Gretchen Carlton was much worse.
Oh, he is just vile. You know, I heard he made a 16-year-old model kiss his balls backstage at the Mike Douglas show, and they were so red and raw she's never been able to eat hamburger meat again.
Oh God, that's even grosser than that time he went up to Kelly Doyley and told her if she wants to play with the big boys, she'll have to lay with the big boys, Anne.
Frank, he asked Shelley Floss to prove her loyalty by forming a sexual alliance with him, whatever the fuck that means. And then he told Laura Loon to find him a harem of whores he could brand as Roger's Angels.
And I heard that he basically turned the interview process at Fox News into his own personal peep show, Anne.
Frank, that phlegm-infused vat of discounted poison is wholesale disgusting. But there's an even worse predator lurking around Sewertown, if you can believe it.
Yeah, I think I can, Anne. Frankly, it's really not that hard to believe. Sewertown's crawling with creepy, sex-charged trash rats.
Well, the number of victims racked up by the rape rat king of Sewertown should shock anyone with a soul. Stay tuned to find out more when we get back. I needed a change, so I tried AIDS, the new Sewertown diet craze. Now available in new flavors. Try peanut butter AIDS today. Maybe you can change your life too.
Buckle up, busybodies, because we're back with more on the orgy of sexual assault allegations that have overwhelmed the Sewertown community. I'm Frank Watley.
I'm Ann Rydell, and this is Rape Crime to Shame a Predator.
And as luck would have it, we've saved the skeeviest perv for last, Anne.
Frank, we sure did. With the number of victims nearing 5 dozen, the formerly beloved comic cum poisonous lawbreaker Bill Cosby has made himself the Ted Bundy of sexual assault.
What? That's slanderous, Anne. Frankly, you'd have to be blinder than Cosby to think that kid-friendly STD is anywhere near as handsome as Ted Bundy.
That really wasn't my point.
Oh, you just meant that they both prefer unconscious sex partners.
Well, that and the sheer number of victims they were able to rack up. Speaking of which, Sewertown News' very own Kate Snow was able to sit down with a number of these Cosby cock casualties in a harrowing new interview.
Sewertown News presents Cosby Came on Me. Listen to the stories of more than a dozen victims in this SNN exclusive.
Bill Cosby drugged me and raped me.
Bill Cosby drugged me and then raped me.
Hosted by the one and only Kate Snow.
How many of you believe you were drugged by Bill Cosby? How many of you believe you were raped by Bill Cosby?
It really is something to see them all together like that, isn't it, Anne?
Frank, there's definitely strength in numbers. It's a lot harder for someone to call you a liar when you're surrounded by a dozen others saying pretty much the exact same thing.
It really is crazy how similar all their stories are.
I was a cater waiter at the Playboy Mansion.
I was an aspiring actress.
It was the fall of '87 and I was working as an NBC page.
I got a call from my agent that Bill Cosby wanted to meet me.
He said he wanted to give me some career advice. He said he could make me a star. He offered me a glass of wine.
He insisted I have a cup of tea.
He gave me a pill for my headache. And then he raped me.
Dude definitely has an MO.
He's just such a fucking prick, Anne. Frankly, I don't know how he lives with himself, spending 40 years railing against thugs while all the while spiking women's drinks with drugs.
I was particularly moved by the story of one Ella Mace.
My name is Ella Mays from South Sewertown, and I just want to say, since meeting Bill Cosby, I've been unable to sleep, I got an abortion, and I took some pills.
I just can't believe Cosby was able to get away with this for so long. I wonder why they're all coming forward now, Anne.
Frank, lucky for you, Kate Snow asked them about that too.
We won't be silent any longer.
We're using our voices to say this is enough.
Women deserve better.
Shame on you, Bill Cosby. Shame on you.
Well, better late than never, I guess.
For sure. If 2016 has taught us anything, it's that things can always get worse, so it's never a bad time to start trying to help.
then if there are any secret sex predator victims watching this, we encourage you to come forward and tell your story.
Thanks for watching, and have a great weekend.